So, hey guys, Nick was asking for sites in the Facebook group. And again, if you guys ever want me to take a look at one of your websites, go ahead and shoot it over to me, or to the crew rather, at info@SirLinksalot.co. We will add it to the queue for you. I like to do site audits. I like to find things that are a little bit trickier. So feel free to send over anything. Please give us a decent amount of info. That always helps on what you're, worried about and what you're currently doing. But if not, we still know how to audit them. That's not a problem. So, okay, this is a client. 6 to 12 months and their timing. I've got 2 sites for Nick's team to take a look at. I'd love to hear what SLA packages I should purchase. Oh, okay. For each of them over the next 6 to 12 months and their timing. I'm giving up on doing outreach myself and leaning into your services going forward. All right. It's a 2-year-old site. It does very well in its niche, but it's missing out on ranking for the most competitive terms in this niche. I had very strong backlinks in the past, but lost all 6 super highly relevant monster authority links when I sold those linking sites about 6 months ago. Okay, that is why you will see the DR bouncing hard. My thought process is just consistently get 2 to 3 high quality links a month to build authority. May throw a barrage in 2 times a year, question mark. Okay. All right, so let's see what you got going on here. You know, that 6 super highly relevant monster authority links thing sounds a whole lot like a PBN if you sold it and then lost those links. But let's see if we can get to the bottom of it. All right, so at a glance, organic traffic's been on the decline for the last year, basically. Nothing too crazy, but a steady decline. Looks like it's lost about, let's say, 1/3 of its traffic. Come January, we started getting aggressive with the referring domains. You know, we went from 130 to 655, right? And in that time, we haven't really gone up with domain rating. You lost it, like you said, you lost some domain rating from 45 down to 15, and you're saying it's because of 6 monster links. And then we've added like 6x the links, or referring domains rather, which has increased domain rating a little bit, but like nothing has happened as far as organic traffic. So yeah, there's definitely, even just looking at this, there's definitely some weird stuff going on with this backlink profile and the way it's resonating in the SERP. So my guess is you're doing a little fishy stuff. And the concept that you've got about maybe getting 2 to 3 authority links per month isn't a bad concept. A lot of that's going to depend on your budget and how competitive your market is. But you rank for a ton of keywords, even losing 1/3 over the last year. Yeah, I'd say this website is doing well. You've got 53,000 keywords, 60,000 traffic. That's no small feat. And then let's go back to the DR thing. DR is the same as any other third-party metric. It can be manipulated, right? So I'm not too worried about what the DR is saying, or the drop in DR or gaining DR. What I care about is how is that affecting my rankings. Overall, with the amount of referring domains that you've got coming in recently, at least this graph is plateaued when it comes to organic traffic. Let me go ahead and add organic pages in here too and get a little look at that. Yeah, so organic pages going up, so that's healthy. And yeah, pretty plateaued on traffic. So I would say that all looks fairly okay. So don't worry about the DR. You know, what matters is what makes you money. Are you ranking or are you not ranking? Let's go ahead and jump into the anchors, which is where I always like to start after the overview. Again, this gives good indication on whether somebody is being spammy. And based on, you can always kind of tell, you know, I'm looking at referring domains. A whole bunch of spammy, like long tail. The stuff you want to see up top is naked branded and random stuff. And while this is kind of naked branded random, like, you know, when I see 33 long tail keywords right up to the top and a bunch of spam mixed in here, and then, yeah, I mean, like, from an anchor's standpoint, this is spammy. And I'm going to go ahead and venture to guess that it's not very high quality links, just due to the fact that if you go to anchors and you look down referring domains, you'll see these like real awkward kind of amount of referring domains. So it starts off with 81. This is obviously spam. 45 to naked URL, which is fine. But as it goes down, then you see like a bunch of weird numbers repeat themselves: 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. And typically, like, you see this with cheaper blasts that are going to include like a bunch of like Web 2.0 spam and stuff like that. You know, whereas previously I would inject some spam into like my personal campaigns sometimes if I wanted to rank real heavy real quick. I don't do it anymore. Like, for example, that case study that I did a few years back, 0 to 10,000 real quick, you know, it's down to nothing last I checked. You know, I don't operate on that thing anymore, but you know, the tactics I took on early for that website, like, they paid off. It worked out fine, but there was no longevity to it. Once the algo started picking up, especially on like AI kind of spam, it was game over for that website. So I don't like doing, you know, stuff that's not put together with longevity out of mind. So yeah, something to watch for are these over optimized anchors, but also these weird spammies. So let's go into referring domains. We'll get an indication of how strong the backlink profile of the referring domain profile is. Got some EDU stuff here that could be okay if it's a repurposed website. Again, yeah, sorry, I didn't go over it, but this is an education-based site. So actually, it's got some really nice EDU links in here, or stuff like Education World. You know, if they repurposed a website, then this would be a nice starting point, at least there. Let's go to backlinks and actually manually comb stuff. So yeah, first seen some of these nice links that I was talking about, 2023. So my guess is this is probably an expired domain that's been repurposed. Let's see when it was last registered by going to whois.com and putting this website in the search bar. So it looks like it was registered in 22, but updated 0424, which my guess is, you know, maybe you started building this about a year ago. I could go to archive.org and look at the archive information on this website. Basically, it'll tell you when this, you know, this website that exists right now started, if you go look back in the history of it. But that would be my guess. You know, you've got an expired domain here. Looks like you found something with pretty nice links. What I'm not seeing is a whole lot of new links, and if there are new links, my guess is that's where the spam is coming from, because I know a lot of you guys, especially the ones working in this education niche, if that's what you want to call it or whatever, yeah, you'll love the expired domain to spam route. And yeah, so like the newer stuff I'm seeing, I don't even have to pull any of it up. Like this is all spammy link building. Comes from, it's the kind of stuff that you see when you buy like a cheap blast, and like the days of doing SEO. I mean, I can't say that you're not doing well. Like you are doing well, right? But you could probably be doing a lot better if you kept some of this stuff a bit cleaner. So, if it's working, then that's fine. But if you're making money off this, then start investing some money in some quality links. And again, we sell them, that, but stay away from some of this other stuff. Like if you go to backlinks and then sort by last seen, all this stuff coming in is just junk directories, low end stuff. And especially if you're doing this and then all you're talking about getting is like 3 to 4 high quality links, this kind of stuff can skew the value that those few links are bringing, because a lot of this is just drowning this website in what looks like spam. Now, do I think you need a disavow? No. Again, we're not staunch supporters of disavows over here. But what I would do is, if you're spending money on this, then stop spending money on this and just put that towards the budget of just higher quality links, right? That's really going to be your best bet here, in my opinion, is higher quality niche edits, guest posts, things of that nature. Obviously, you're doing well in your niche. It's probably not too terribly competitive given the amount of traffic you've got and are going after it. I think if you just clean that up a little bit, it's going to go a long way for you. So higher quality links. If you are ordering this spam showing up, then get away from that. And I know we reversed this one, but let's go ahead and check out your on page. We did the off page. Usually we start the opposite way, and just get it like an idea what's going on. So again, education, aggregate sorts. Pretty fleshed out. Kind of annoying. I'm curious if this would be like maybe a partial archive rebuild or something like that. Again, I could go to archive and check, but yeah, maybe not. You could always get a little more oomph by upping the EEAT. Might be hard if you don't have an address, things like that. But that kind of stuff could be fleshed out. And then outside of that, it kind of operates like what I think is well, it's not quite a blog roll. Yeah, it's a downloadable template thing. So, I mean, it seems to be working pretty well. Again, like EAT is something I'm always talking about, but for some sites like this, maybe it's a little bit harder to flesh some of that stuff out. But you can always figure out how to get, an author in there writing some blog stuff, etc. And I don't see a blog now that we're talking about that. So if you don't have a blog going on, then that would definitely be an opportunity for you to kind of flesh some of this stuff out, get author pages going and things of that nature, and building from there, that also could help you out. But from backlinking perspective, if you work these other angles, yeah, just stick to bread and butter. It's guest posts, higher authority stuff, and then try and get your rank graph corrected. Stop adding all this other spam that I'm guessing started. Again, let's go look at the graph. around January, because that's where we went up 6x in the referring domains. But these are, as I was combing it at a glance, I don't see a whole lot of quality stuff in the recent link building efforts. Maybe there's some sprinkled in there, but again, you're getting so much of it, 6x since January, that if you are getting 2 to 3 quality links in there, it's drowned out, in the data. So be careful for that, as you could be spending money on quality links and not getting the you want out of them because all the spam coming in unison. And if you're not doing the spam, then monitor that. And maybe if it keeps going up and you see your graph tipping, then yeah, that might be one of the times where I'm like, you can, get rid of it, or you can up with a disavow file, or you can up your link velocity with authority links, but that's going to only be if budget permits, right? So yeah, I hope that helps. If another thing, if you guys ever have questions about link building, one product that we've got that's really solid to look into is the Managed Link Building program. That's where we've got monthly campaigns done for you at no additional cost, and you get monthly reporting on that includes an audit of the website, what it looked like previously, and what was done, how that resonated with your site, and then what your rep is going to do for the following month as well. So completely done for you, backlinking campaigns handled in-house by our crew. I really would advise, if you've got questions on link building, that's always a good place to check out. All right, let's see here. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to give us a like, drop a comment, subscribe, so you don't miss out on any future SEO insights. And hey, if you're serious about your rankings, head over to SirLinksalot.co, check out our premium link building services, guides, and free SEO tools. See you next time.